The poor cleaner was separated from her little son inside the billionaire's mansion. Hours later, alone in his office, she noticed something familiar on the desk, and her hands began to tremble. When the truth hit her, she froze, and everyone around fell completely silent. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and comment where in the world you're watching from, because now I'm going to tell you everything. The first cry was a soft whimper in the dark. Then it grew. Shh, mi amor, Mama is here, Maria whispered into the crib. She lifted Leo out, his small body warm against her chest. His crying slowed to little hiccups. The clock on the wall said 4 in the morning. This was their time. The city outside their small apartment was quiet. Maria changed his diaper in the dim light. She warmed a bottle of formula. She counted each scoop carefully. 1, 2, 3. Not a grain more or less. Every scoop was money. Today's a work day, Leo, she said softly, feeding him. But Mama has you. Always. She dressed him in a clean blue onesie. She packed his bag. Diapers, wipes, 2 more bottles, a soft blanket. Last, she picked up his favorite toy from the crib. It was a red elephant rattle. He grabbed for it with a gummy smile. Okay, my happy boy, she said. Her own routine was quick. A shower, her hair pulled into a tight bun. She put on her clean khaki pants and her blue clean sweep polo shirt. She made a piece of toast but did not finish it. Her stomach felt tight. The sun was just starting to rise when her phone rang. It was Rosa, the elderly neighbor who sometimes watched Leo. Maria, I am so sorry. Rosa's voice was weak. My back. I cannot get out of bed today. Maria's heart beat very fast. It is okay, Rosa. Please rest. She hung up. She called 2 other numbers. No answer. It was too early. Her work started in 1 hour. She felt a cold fear in her throat. She had no family nearby to call. Her phone rang again. It was her boss, Janice. Flores, your location changed. Client request. You're going to the Sterling estate in Beverly Hills. Big job. You need to be there by 6. Janice, my babysitter canceled. Not my problem, Janice said. Her voice was not unkind, but it was firm. You don't show, you lose the job. You know the rules. Maria looked at Leo. He was chewing on the red elephant's ear. She thought of her rent, due in 1 week. She thought of the formula can, almost empty. I will be there, Maria said quietly. She finished getting ready. She looked at the baby carrier. It was sturdy. Leo was small for his age. He often slept for long stretches. A new plan formed in her mind, a desperate one. You will be so quiet for Mama, yes? She whispered to him, fastening him into the carrier. She faced him toward her chest. We will be very careful. Just sleep. She packed his bag with extra care. She put the red elephant rattle in the front pocket. She left the apartment, locking the door behind her. The bus ride was long. Leo slept, lulled by the motion. Maria counted the stops. 23. She got off and started walking up a steep, winding hill. The houses got bigger, the fences got taller. Then she saw it. The Sterling estate. It was not a house. It was a palace of glass and pale stone. It sat behind a huge iron gate. Maria pressed the button on the intercom. Clean sweep, she said, her voice small. The gate swung open silently. The walk from the gate to the front door felt like a mile. The grass was perfect green. The air smelled like flowers. Maria felt very small. She held Leo closer. He was still sleeping. A woman in a black suit opened the massive front door. She was the house manager, Gwen. She looked at Maria, then at the carrier on her chest. The baby cannot be here, Gwen said. Her tone was flat. He is no trouble, Maria said quickly. He will sleep. I have no one to watch him. Please. Gwen looked at her for a long moment. She glanced at her watch. Mr. Sterling is not home. Do your work. The baby makes no noise. If he cries, you leave. Understand? Maria nodded, relief washing through her. Thank you. Thank you. She stepped inside. The entry hall was bigger than her whole apartment. The ceiling was very high. Everything was white and gold and so quiet. Her cleaning cart was waiting for her. She started in the living room. She dusted tall golden statues. She vacuumed a carpet that seemed to go on forever. Every 2 minutes she looked down. Leo's head was tucked against her, his eyes closed. She could feel his gentle breath. For hours she moved through the silent, giant rooms. Each was more perfect than the last. She felt like a ghost. She touched everything lightly, leaving no trace. She counted the rooms as she cleaned. 12. Her arms began to ache from the weight of the carrier and the vacuum. Her back hurt, but Leo was safe. He was with her. That was all that mattered. She finally wheeled her cart into the kitchen. It was all steel and dark marble, and there, on the perfect floor, was a spilled drink, a dark, sticky puddle. Maria sighed. She let go of her cart. She bent to get her mop and bucket from the cart. She had to turn her back to the carrier for just a moment. It was only to grab the supplies. It was only 20 seconds. She turned back, the wet mop in her hands. Her eyes went to the carrier first. It was a habit now. The carrier was empty. The little white cushion was there. The soft blanket was there. But Leo was not. Maria stood very still. Her brain could not understand. Her eyes moved from the empty carrier to the floor around her, then back to the carrier. It was like a puzzle with a missing piece. Leo? Her voice was a whisper in the huge kitchen. No sound came back. Leo! This time it was louder, a sharp cry. She dropped the mop. It hit the marble floor with a loud clatter. She ran to the carrier, her hands flying to the empty space. The straps were still buckled. He did not crawl out. He was taken out. She spun around. Leo, baby, where are you? Her heart began to pound so hard it hurt her chest. She ran from the kitchen into the dining room. It was empty. She ran back through the living room. She looked behind sofas, under tables. Her breath came in short, sharp gasps. Gwen, she screamed. My baby is gone. The house was silent. No one came. Maria ran into the long hallway. She pushed open doors, a library with tall books, a dark theater room, a bathroom bigger than her bedroom, all empty. Please, Leo, answer Mama. Her voice was high with panic now. It echoed in the vast spaces, mocking her. She ran up a wide, curving staircase. Her legs felt weak. Hello, someone, help me. She pushed open the first door at the top. It was a bedroom, a huge bed. No one. She opened a closet. Only clothes. The next room was an office. Empty. The next door was closed. She threw it open. A teenage boy sat on the floor in the middle of a large, plain room. He was stacking wooden blocks. He did not look up. Have you seen a baby? Maria cried, her words tumbling out. A little baby boy? The boy kept stacking his blocks. He did not answer. He did not even look at her. Maria sobbed and ran back to the hallway. She did not know where to go. The house was a maze. She fumbled in her pocket for her phone. Her hands were shaking so badly she dropped it. She grabbed it and called her boss. Janice, he's gone. My baby is gone in this house. What do you mean gone? Janice's voice was sharp. He was here, and now he's not. I need help. Call the police. Calm down. I'll call the property manager. Don't touch anything. No, call the police now, Maria shouted. She hung up and dialed 911 herself. A dispatcher answered. 911, what is your emergency? My baby, Maria choked out. My son. He was with me and now he's gone. Someone took him. In this big house. She could barely give the address. She was running again, checking more rooms, her phone pressed to her ear. The dispatcher told her to stay calm, that help was coming. Maria could not stay calm. She ran back down the stairs. The front door was opening. A man walked in. He was tall, with silver hair. He wore a simple gray sweater. He looked at her tear-streaked face, at her empty chest where the carrier should be. What's happening? He asked. His voice was quiet and low. Mr. Sterling? Maria gasped. My baby. I was cleaning. He was right here, and now he's gone. You have to help me find him. Arthur Sterling's face did not change much, but his blue eyes became very focused. He looked past her down the hall. Gwen! The house manager appeared from a side door. Sir? The cleaner's child is missing in the house. A baby boy. Lock the main gate. No one in or out. Start a search of the entire property. Now. Gwen nodded and pulled out a radio, speaking into it quickly. The police are coming, Maria said, her body trembling. Good, Arthur said. He looked at her. His calmness was like a cold wall. We will search every inch. The pool house, the guest suites, the garages, everywhere. Men in security uniforms began to move through the house. Maria followed them, her eyes darting everywhere. She ran into a 6-car garage, only shiny cars. She ran to a pool house, only loungers and towels. Hours passed. The police came. They asked her many questions. They searched the same rooms again. The sun was high in the sky now. Leo had been gone for more than 3 hours. A police officer with a kind face put a hand on Maria's shoulder. "Ma'am, we've looked everywhere. There's no sign of him inside the gates." Maria felt the words like a physical blow. She sank onto the bottom step of the staircase. Her whole body was empty. A sound came from her, a deep, hurting moan that had no tears left. Arthur Sterling stood nearby, talking quietly with the lead officer. He looked over at her. He walked to her. "Miss Flores," he said. His quiet voice seemed loud in the quiet hall. "You should sit somewhere private. My office. You can collect yourself." Maria could not even nod. A female officer helped her stand and led her to a room near the front. It was a large office with a big, clean desk and tall windows. They left her there alone. The door clicked shut. The silence was complete. She sat in a soft leather chair, staring at nothing. Her arms felt so light without Leo. They ached to hold him. Her world had ended in 20 seconds. Her eyes, blurred with pain, moved over the room. They passed the books, the art, the windows. They landed on the vast, empty desk. A flash of red caught her eye. It was a small spot of color on the dark, polished wood. She blinked. She leaned forward. It was a little red elephant rattle. Her breath stopped. The world narrowed to that one spot of red on the dark wood. Maria stood up. Her legs felt like water. She walked to the desk. She reached out a hand. Her fingers were trembling. She touched the small plastic elephant. It was real. It was Leo's, the same little crack near the tail from when he dropped it in the park. A soft cry escaped her lips. She picked it up. It felt light and familiar in her palm. Underneath it, a single sheet of paper lay on the desk. It was a formal document. The words at the top said, "Genetic Analysis Report." Her eyes skipped over the technical terms. They caught on 2 lines near the bottom. Alleged father, Arthur James Sterling. Child, Leonardo Flores. Her heart was a hammer in her ears. She forced herself to read the last line. Probability of paternity, 99.99%. The paper fell from her fingers. It floated back to the desk. She gripped the edge of the wood to keep from falling. "No," she whispered to the empty room. "This is not real." But the rattle was real in her other hand, and a memory, sharp and sudden, cut through the panic. Asterisk 2 years ago, a hotel ballroom. She was working extra hours for a catering company. Her feet hurt. A man in a simple black suit, not a tuxedo, stood alone by a wall of flowers. He looked lonely. He saw her holding a tray of empty glasses. He smiled. It was a kind smile. "Long night," he said. "Yes, sir," she replied. "You don't have to call me sir." He asked her name. He told her his was Arthur. They talked for 10 minutes. He asked about her life. He listened. He made her feel seen, not like part of the furniture. It was a feeling she had almost forgotten. Later, he found her outside, waiting for her bus. His driver was gone. He offered to wait with her. She said no. He insisted. One thing led to another. A single, vulnerable night in a quiet apartment that was not this mansion. In the morning, he was gone. He left money on the table, which she did not take. She never knew his last name. She tried to forget. Now she knew. Arthur. Arthur Sterling. The door to the office opened. Arthur Sterling walked in. He closed the door softly behind him. He looked tired. He opened his mouth to speak, but then he saw her face. He saw what was in her hands. His eyes went wide. The color drained from his face. He looked from the red rattle in her fist to the paper on his desk. He became very still. "Maria," he said. His voice was a dry whisper. "You," she said. The word was choked. "It was you." "I can explain," Arthur said quickly, taking a step forward. He held up a hand. I only got that report today. This morning." "Where is my son?" Her voice was low and shaking. "Did you take him? Is this why?" "No, I swear to you, I did not take him." He moved closer, his eyes pleading. "I found the rattle here on my desk a few hours ago. I didn't know how it got here. I was trying to understand. I was going to..." The office door opened again before he could finish. Gwen stood there, her posture stiff. She looked at Arthur, then at Maria holding the rattle. Her expression did not change. "Sir," Gwen said, "the police need to speak with you. They found something." Arthur's gaze stayed locked on Maria. "What is it?" "A small blanket. They found it in Brandon's bedroom. Maria recognized the words. Leo's blanket, the blue one? Gwen gave a single nod. The officers are asking Brandon about it. He is saying something. Saying what? Arthur asked, finally looking at his security chief. Gwen's lips tightened. He pointed to the window. He said, "The lady took the happy noise." The air in the grand foyer became very still. All eyes moved from the old gardener to Eleanor Sterling. Eleanor's perfect smile was gone. Her face was smooth, cold stone. "Mr. Harris," she said, her voice like chilled glass. "You are confused. You see shadows in the morning light. You should go back to your roses." Mr. Harris shook his head, his wrinkled hands twisting his cap. "No, ma'am. I saw her clear as day. Miss Collins, your assistant. She was carrying a baby carrier, the kind with a handle. She came in through the side service entrance. I was pruning the ivy right there. She didn't see me." The lead police officer, a man named Detective Miller, stepped forward. "What time was this, sir?" "Early, just after 6 in the morning. The sun was barely up." Detective Miller looked at Eleanor. "Ma'am, where is your assistant now?" "I dismissed her for the day hours ago," Eleanor said calmly. "She had personal errands." "We'll need her name and contact information," the detective said. He turned back to Mr. Harris. "Did you see the baby?" "No, sir. The carrier had a cover on it. But when Miss Collins left, maybe 20 minutes later, she did not have the carrier. She was empty-handed. I thought maybe Mrs. Sterling's family had come to visit with a new baby. It's not my place to ask." Maria clutched Leo closer, a new fear cutting through her. "She brought him here. She left him here. Where?" Arthur was staring at his ex-wife. A slow, dawning horror filled his eyes. "Eleanor, what did you do?" "I protected my family." The words snapped out of her, sharp and sudden. The calm mask cracked. "I protected Brandon. This woman and her accident were going to take everything from us." "The blanket in Brandon's room," Arthur said, his voice low and strained. "You put it there." "Of course I did." The boy points and mumbles. "Let them think he was confused, that he took the baby." Her eyes full of icy fire landed on Maria. "Let them think she was lying. A desperate woman who hid her own child for money. It was clean. It would have worked." Detective Miller's posture changed. He nodded to 2 other officers. They moved closer to Eleanor. "Mrs. Sterling, are you saying you orchestrated the removal of Leonardo Flores from his mother and brought him into this house without her knowledge?" "I am saying I removed a problem," Eleanor said, lifting her chin. "That child is a threat to my son's future, his inheritance. I was safeguarding Brandon's interests." "And the rattle? The DNA report on Mr. Sterling's desk?" A flicker of uncertainty crossed Eleanor's face. She looked at Arthur. "You got the results today. I knew you would. I had my own copy. I put it with the toy. So when she found it, she would look like a gold digger, not a victim. A woman trying to blackmail you with a fake story." She straightened her jacket. It was a logical solution. Arthur took a step toward her, his face pale with a quiet fury Maria had not seen before. "You used my son. You used Brandon. You planted evidence in his room to make him seem complicit, to make his words a lie." "He is my son," Eleanor shouted, the sound echoing in the high ceiling. "You lost the right to call him that when you betrayed us. I did what you never could. I made a hard choice to protect what is ours." Detective Miller moved between them. "Eleanor Sterling, you are under arrest for kidnapping and conspiracy. You have the right to remain silent." As the officer spoke the formal words, Eleanor's gaze stayed locked on Arthur, then shifted to Maria and Leo. The ice in her eyes melted into pure, raw hatred. "You think you've won? You have no idea what you've stepped into. This is not your world. You will drown in it." The officers gently took her by the arms and led her toward the front door. She went quietly, her head high, but her shoulders were stiff. The great front door closed behind them. A heavy silence fell. Maria felt her legs giving way. She sank onto the bottom step of the staircase, holding Leo, who was now awake and fussing softly. She rocked him, whispering, "It's over, it's over." Arthur stood in the middle of the foyer, looking at the closed door, then at Maria and his son. He looked completely lost. The heavy silence in the foyer was broken only by Leo's soft, fussing sounds. Maria rocked him, her face buried in the soft fabric of his suit. The police were gone. Gwen and the other staff had quietly disappeared into other parts of the house. Arthur stood alone in the center of the marble floor. He looked at Maria and his son. He took a hesitant step toward them. "Maria," he said. His voice was quiet, almost lost in the big space. She did not look up. She kept rocking. "I am so sorry," Arthur said. The words sounded small. "For everything. For that night. For not finding you. For all of this." Maria finally lifted her head. Her eyes were red and empty of tears. "You are sorry?" "Yes. Your wife took my baby. Your wife put him in your house to disappear. Your wife tried to make me look like a liar." Maria's voice was flat. "And you are sorry?" Arthur flinched. "She is not my wife, not for a long time. But yes, the blame is mine. I let her become this. I hid in my work. I did not see what she was capable of." "You did not see a lot of things," Maria said. He took another step closer. He looked at Leo. The baby had quieted, his eyes looking around the bright foyer. "What is his name?" "His full name?" "Leonardo." "Leo," Maria said. She held him tighter. "Leo," Arthur repeated. He said the name softly, like testing a new word. He is beautiful." Maria stood up. Her body ached. "I need to go home." "Wait." Arthur's hand came up, then dropped. "Please, can we talk? For just a few minutes. There is so much to say." "What is there to say?" Maria asked. She shifted Leo to her hip. "You are a stranger, a rich stranger. Your family tried to destroy me today. I just want to take my son and go." "I am his father," Arthur said. The words seemed to surprise him as he said them. "A fact on a paper. That is all," Maria said. She started walking toward the door. Arthur moved to block her path, but not in a threatening way. He stood between her and the great door, his hands open at his sides. "Please, I know I have no right to ask, but I want a chance to know him, to help." "Help?" Maria let out a short, bitter sound. "What does that mean? Money?" "It means everything," Arthur said, his calm voice beginning to crack with emotion. "A safe home, good schools, everything he will ever need. And for you, you would never have to clean another house. You could go to school like you wanted. I read that in your file. You wanted to be a teacher." Maria froze. "You have a file on me?" "I had a private investigator find you after I got the test results. I wanted to know about you, about him. I was trying to find the courage to contact you." He looked down. "I was too slow, and because I was slow, this happened." "So you want to give me money," Maria said. "And then what? You see him on weekends? He calls you daddy from a big house on a hill, and I live in an apartment you pay for?" "I want to be his father," Arthur insisted. "I don't know how, but I want to try. I failed, Brandon. I was distant. I was not there. I don't want to fail again." Maria looked at him. She saw the fear in his eyes. She saw the sincerity. But all she could feel was the ghost of Eleanor's cold smile, the echo of the police officer's suspicious questions. "Your world is poison," Maria said quietly. "It is full of people who solve problems by making babies disappear. I spent all day in this house. It is the emptiest place I have ever been. You want to bring my son into this?" Arthur had no answer. Maria walked around him. She reached for the giant door handle. "Maria, please," he whispered. "Don't shut me out. He is my son too." She opened the door. The afternoon sun was warm. Her old car was still parked far down the driveway. She looked back at Arthur, standing alone in the cool, dark foyer. "I need to go home," she said again. It was all she had left. She walked out into the light, pulling the door closed behind her. It shut with a soft, final click. The drive back to her apartment in East Los Angeles took over an hour. Leo slept in his car seat. Maria's hands did not stop shaking on the wheel. Every shadow, every car that seemed to follow her too long, made her heart jump. She pulled into her parking space. She let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. Home. Her small, quiet home. But as she lifted Leo's carrier out of the car, she saw them. Two men. They stood on the sidewalk across the street. One had a large camera with a big lens. He raised it. A quick clicking sound filled the air. Maria turned her back, shielding Leo with her body. She hurried to her apartment door, her key fumbling in the lock. "Maria, over here," a man's voice called. "Is that Arthur Sterling's son?" She slammed the door shut and locked it. She leaned against it, breathing hard. Leo began to cry, startled by the noise and the rush. "Shh, mi cielo, we are home," she whispered, but her voice was thin with fear. She went to the window and peeked through the blinds. The men were still there. Another car pulled up. A woman with a notebook got out. The phone in her apartment began to ring. It was the landline, a number only her parents and her boss had. She did not answer it. It stopped. A minute later, it rang again. She unplugged the cord from the wall. The silence was loud. Her cell phone in her pocket buzzed. She looked at the screen. Unknown number. She silenced it. For the next hour, she tried to do normal things. She changed Leo. She made him a bottle. She fed him. But her eyes kept going to the window. More people were gathering outside. She saw a news van. A knock on her door made her jump. It was not loud or official. It was tentative. "Maria, it's Rosa, from next door." Maria opened the door a crack. Rosa, her elderly neighbor, stood there with a worried face. She hurried her inside. "Ay, mija, what is happening? There are men with cameras all over the street. They are asking about you. They are saying terrible things, that you had a rich man's baby." "It is a long story, Rosa," Maria said, her eyes filling with tired tears. "A bad story." "They are like vultures," Rosa said, patting her arm. She looked at Leo. "But he is safe. That is what matters." After Rosa left, Maria saw the envelope. It had been slipped under her door while she was talking. It was thick, expensive paper. Her name was typed on the front. She opened it with trembling fingers. It was a letter from a law firm. The name Sterling Thorn Crest was at the top. Asterisk. "Dear Miss Flores, on behalf of our client, Mr. Arthur Sterling, we are writing to formally acknowledge paternity of Leonardo Flores. Mr. Sterling is eager to establish a constructive dialogue regarding custody, visitation, and financial support. We request you contact our offices at your earliest convenience to arrange a meeting. We strongly advise you to obtain your own legal counsel." The words blurred on the page: custody, visitation, legal counsel. It was a new kind of trap, a legal one. Her cell phone buzzed again on the table. This time it was a text message from another unknown number. The text read, "Asterisk Maria, this is Arthur. Please, just tell me Leo is all right. That is all I ask." She stared at the message. She thought of his quiet, pale face in the foyer. She thought of the file he had on her. She thought of the men with cameras outside her home who knew her name and her story. She did not reply. She put the phone face down. She picked up Leo and held him in the middle of her small living room, turning in a slow circle. Her safe place was not safe anymore. The walls felt very thin. The knocking came again the next morning. Not a tentative knock like Rosa's. This was firm and quick. Maria peeked through the blinds. It was a woman in a clean sweep polo shirt. Janice, her boss. Maria's stomach sank. She opened the door. "Janice." "Maria." Janice did not smile. She looked over her shoulder at the two photographers on the sidewalk. "Can I come in?" Maria stepped back to let her enter. Janice stood in the small living room, not sitting. She looked at Leo, who was playing on a blanket on the floor. "I saw the news," Janice said. Her voice was flat. "It's all over the local channels. Made secret baby with tech billionaire. Drama at the Sterling estate. They have your picture, Maria." "I did not talk to them," Maria said quickly. "It doesn't matter. The company got calls. Clients are upset. They don't want this drama. They don't want reporters at their gates." Janice took a deep breath. "I have to let you go." The words hung in the air. Maria had expected them, but they still felt like a punch. "It's not fair," Maria whispered. "No, it's not," Janice said. Her expression softened just for a moment. "You're a good worker, but this is business. Here." She pulled an envelope from her pocket. "It's your final pay, plus a little extra. It's not much, but it's something." Maria took the envelope. It felt thin. "What will I do?" she asked, more to herself than to Janice. "Get a lawyer," Janice said bluntly. "A good one. That man out there, he has a team of them. You need your own." She turned to leave, then paused. And for what it's worth, I'm glad you got your boy back." Janice left, closing the door gently behind her. Maria looked at the envelope. She opened it. Her normal pay, plus an extra $500. It was a kindness. It would pay for 1 month of groceries. Maybe. The cell phone on her table lit up. Another text from Arthur. Asterisk, I know you don't want to talk. I am respecting that. But I set up a secure account for you. There is money for anything you need. Food, rent, a lawyer. The login information is in an email to you. You do not ever have to thank me. Just use it. Maria threw the phone onto the sofa. It bounced onto the floor. She did not want his money. Using it would feel like a chain. But the envelope from Janice felt light in her hand. Her rent was due in 9 days. Leo began to cry, a hungry cry. She picked him up. It's okay, my love. Mama is here. She prepared his bottle. As she fed him, her eyes wandered to the legal letter on the counter. The words custody and visitation seemed to pulse. Her own phone was on the floor. Her old cracked laptop was on the kitchen table. She thought about Arthur's email. Free money, a trap, but also food, security. She finished feeding Leo and put him in his playpen. She walked to the laptop but did not open it. Instead, she picked up her phone from the floor. She opened her internet browser. Her fingers typed slowly, Legal Aid Los Angeles Mother Custody. She clicked on the first link, a phone number. She stared at it for a long time. Then she began to dial. The phone rang 5 times before someone answered. Los Angeles Family Legal Center, how can I help? Maria's mouth felt dry. Hello, I need to talk to a lawyer about my son. Is this a custody matter? The woman on the phone asked. Yes. Okay. We have a free intake clinic next Tuesday morning. You can come in and speak with an attorney. Do you have a case number from the courts yet? No, nothing like that, Maria said. Then the clinic is your first step. Bring any papers you have and your ID. We open at 9. Maria wrote down the information on a scrap of paper. Next Tuesday. It felt like 100 years away. That afternoon, another knock. This time, it was a delivery man with a large box. Maria Flores? Yes. Sign here, please. The box was heavy. She brought it inside and opened it. It was full of baby things, expensive formula, organic food pouches, soft pajamas in the exact right size, a new fancy baby monitor. At the very bottom, a plain white envelope. She opened it. A short note, in handwriting this time. Asterisk Maria, these are for Leo. No conditions. I just want him to have what he needs. The monitor is for your peace of mind. I am so sorry for the people outside your door. I am trying to make them leave. Arthur asterisk. She stared into the box. The formula was the kind she could never afford. The monitor looked like it could see in the dark. Part of her wanted to throw it all back on the driveway. But Leo needed formula. Her final pay would not last. She took out 1 can of formula and the food pouches. She left the rest in the box and pushed it into a corner. Later, as she put Leo down for a nap, her phone buzzed. A new email. The subject line said, Secure Financial Portal Instructions. She deleted it without opening it. The next morning, Saturday, the crowd outside had grown. 3 news vans now. Maria kept the blinds closed. She felt like a prisoner in her own home. She was running low on diapers. Rosa knocked on the connecting wall between their apartments. Maria opened her door a crack. Mija, I am going to the market, Rosa said quietly. Give me your list. I will go for you. Tears of gratitude sprang to Maria's eyes. Thank you, Rosa. I will pay you back. No need. Just keep that little one safe. Rosa left. Maria watched from the window as the reporters swarmed the old woman. Is she in there? Can you give her a message? Rosa shook her head and kept walking, a small smile on her face. Maria's phone buzzed. Another text from Arthur. Asterisk, I hired a security consultant. A good one. She can help you with safety and privacy. Her name is Chloe. She is outside your apartment now in a black SUV. She will wait if you want to talk. If not, she will leave. No pressure. Maria went to the window. She saw a black car parked at the end of the block. A woman with short blonde hair sat in the driver's seat, looking straight ahead, not at the cameras. Maria thought about the people outside her door. She thought about the legal fight coming. She thought about being alone. She picked up her phone. She typed a message, her fingers stiff. Asterisk, I will talk to her, but only for 5 minutes. Maria put Leo in his carrier, her heart beating fast. She wrapped a light blanket over the top to shield him. She left her apartment and walked quickly toward the black SUV. The woman, Chloe, got out and opened the back passenger door. "Get in, we can talk in here. It's private." Maria climbed in. The interior was clean and quiet. Chloe got back in the driver's seat but turned to face her. She was young, with sharp, kind eyes. "5 minutes," Maria said. "Understood," Chloe said. Her voice was calm and direct. "My job is to help you with security and privacy. The people outside are a nuisance. They can be managed. We can get a temporary restraining order for the most aggressive ones. It won't make them vanish, but it will push them back." "How much does that cost?" Maria asked. "Mr. Sterling is covering my fees, but my responsibility is to you and your son. My recommendations will be based on what is best for your safety, not his preferences." Maria looked down at Leo, who was peeking out from the blanket. "Why should I trust you?" "You shouldn't. Not yet. You should verify. I'll give you my state license number. You can call the agency and check my record. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not here to talk about custody. I'm here to talk about cameras, door locks, and safe routes to the grocery store." It was a practical answer. Maria found herself nodding slightly. "The legal clinic is next Tuesday," Maria said. "I have to go. They will be following me." "We can arrange a decoy," Chloe said. "A car leaving from the front. You and Leo leave from the back with a neighbor. Get into a different car. Simple." "It sounds like a spy movie," Maria said, frowning. "It sounds like common sense when you have a pack of reporters chasing you," Chloe replied. "You have a right to live your life. My job is to help you do that." Maria was quiet for a moment. "And what does he want for this?" "He wants his son to be safe. And he wants you to be safe because you are his son's mother. That's what he told me. My contract is with him, but my duty is to you." Chloe handed a business card over the seat. "My number. Think about it. If you want to go to that clinic on Tuesday without a circus, text me Monday night." Maria took the card. Her 5 minutes were up. She opened the car door. "Miss Flores," Chloe said. "One more thing. He asked me to give you this, only if I thought you were ready. I think you are." She handed back a small, sealed envelope. It was not from a lawyer. It just had her name on it. Maria took it and got out of the car. She hurried back inside her apartment. She put Leo down and looked at the envelope. She opened it. It was a photograph, a printed picture from a security camera. It showed a room in the big house, a nursery. There was a crib, a rocking chair, bookshelves. It was empty, but it was set up. On the back, in handwriting, it said, "Asterisk. This is for him, for when he visits, but only if you say it's okay. It is not a home. His home is with you." A asterisk. Maria sat down heavily. She looked from the photo to Leo, then at the legal letter on her counter. 2 different futures. One was a fight she didn't know how to win. The other was a help she didn't know how to accept. Her phone buzzed. A new text. It was from Arthur. Asterisk. "I will be at the courthouse tomorrow morning to file the official paternity acknowledgement. It is just a formality to make it legal. I wanted you to know before you saw it online. I am not trying to ambush you." She didn't reply. She just held the photo and watched her son sleep. The photo of the nursery felt heavy in Maria's hand. She put it down on the kitchen table next to the legal letter. She looked from one to the other. A choice, a trap, a help, a threat. It was all the same thing now. The morning sun was bright. She peeked through the blinds. The news vans were still there, 3 of them. People with cameras stood drinking coffee. Her phone rang. The screen said, "Unknown." She let it go to voicemail. A minute later, it buzzed with a new message. She listened to the voicemail. "Miss Flores, this is Carla Simmons from California Sunrise. We'd love to give you a chance to tell your side of the story. We can offer a fee for your time. Please call me back." Maria deleted the message. Her phone buzzed again immediately. Another unknown number. She silenced the phone and put it in a drawer. A different sound made her jump. It was the old intercom panel by her front door. It buzzed, loud and grating. She never used it. She walked over and pressed the button. "Hello? Delivery for Maria Flores," a crackly voice said. "I did not order anything. It's from a law office. I need a signature." Her heart sank. She pressed the button to unlock the front building door. A minute later, there was a knock. She opened her apartment door a few inches. A delivery man handed her a large, thick envelope. She signed for it and closed the door. The return address was a different law firm. not Arthur's. She opened it. Inside was a stack of papers with a sticky note on top. Asterisk Maria. A friend referred you. Call me. We should talk before you speak to anyone else. Mark Sutton, attorney. Under the note were printouts of news articles from the internet. Headlines: Billionaire's love child with cleaner. Secret baby drama rocks Sterling family. Her picture was there, one taken from her clean sweep company website. Another photo showed Arthur walking into a courthouse that morning. So he had done it. He had made it legal. At the bottom of the stack was a clean, simple business card. Asterisk Mark Sutton, family law. Leo started to fuss from his playpen. The sound was a pull back to what was real. She went to him, picked him up, and held him close. "What does Mama do, Leo?" she whispered into his soft hair. "Everyone wants something. Everyone has a plan for us." He babbled, grabbing at her shirt. She thought about Chloe, the security woman. She thought about the safe route to the legal clinic. She thought about the photo of the quiet, empty nursery. She carried Leo to the table. She picked up the business card from the new lawyer. Then she picked up the photo from Arthur. She looked at both in her hands. She put the photo down. She kept the card. She got her phone from the drawer. She typed a text to Chloe. Asterisk, I need to go to the clinic on Tuesday. Please help. The reply came quickly. I'll make the arrangements. You'll have instructions tomorrow night. Then Maria took a deep breath. She found the text from Arthur, the last one about the courthouse. She typed a new message, her fingers steady for the first time. Asterisk, I got your photo. I am seeing a lawyer on Tuesday, my lawyer. Do not contact me until after that. Do not send more things. If you want to help, make the people outside go away. She hit send before she could change her mind. She put the phone down. It did not buzz again. She looked out the window at the crowded street. The world had found her small apartment. It was loud and hungry and full of strangers with their own ideas about her life. She held her son tighter and whispered her promise, not in fear this time, but in a slow, solid strength. We are still here, mi amor, and we are not going anywhere.